A very warm good evening to all. Today's topic is about entering upon defense. And when you say the word defense, it is obviously from the accused side. CRPC section 233 is actually full of so many things. And if you utilize it, which we will see in few of the judgments, the learned lawyers have utilized the same and they were able to get good orders and in fact, in some of the cases, acquittals also from the court. There are cases where the court has invoked that provision. So we should see today's lecture how when it progress that how we can utilize this section 233 in our cases. Now, the first rule of any criminal trial or criminal law, I would say, or which has been reiterated in many judgments, that self-help is the first rule of the criminal law. When we say self-help, the word goes in our mind is about the self-defense. If we look into the Indian Penal Code, there are about 10 sections from section 96 to 106, which is given an importance of the on the self-defense right. Now, when we go to this section 233, before that we have to come to section 313 CRPC. Now 313 CRPC is about the recording of the statement of the accused by the court. We all know that every case starts with the prosecution story and prosecution witnesses. Once the prosecution closes its evidence, it gives the pussy that they have no more witnesses. It is the court which takes up the accused statement under section 313 CRPC. When section 313 CRPC statement is given by the accused, he has a liberty. In fact, it is his right, whether he wants to say something on the oath, whether he has some documents, or thirdly, he wants to bring some witnesses before the court to say his side. Now, this happens only when the accused says that he has some witnesses, he has some documents. I have this idea of taking today's lecture came to me when I read there is a word written statement in some of the judgments. In criminal law, to have the word written statement is like a little out of context because normally we file the written statement in civil matters or family court matters. But in criminal law also under section 233, there is a provision for written statement by the accused, by the defense. Now let's go to section 233 CRPC. Section 233 CRPC itself is very exhaustive and it is divided into three parts. The first part says that when accused is not acquitted under section 232 CRPC, he may be called upon the judge to enter into his defense and say whatever he likes to say in his defense. The second part is about that if he puts in a written statement, there is a possibility that he wants to say something in writing, then he can file a written statement of whatever has happened, whatever the incident or whatever his challenges in that matter, he can put forth that. Then it's a written statement, that is a part 2. And part 3 is very important part here, that is attendance of any witnesses. He can request the judge, make an application to the court, session judge or the trial court judge, that may be magistrate court. There are 2 trial courts, that is one the magistrate court and another is the session court. He can make an application under section 233 CRPC calling upon any witnesses to come before the court and he can compel this attendance by the court's order. He can also produce some documents which may be in the possession of maybe in police station or any authority, maybe bank, maybe any autonomous body or any private individual also or any government person also. And there is one more provision in this section 233 part 3 which says this court has a liberty to reject this application on 3 grounds when it found it is a vexatious. Vexatious, it is just to annoy somebody for annoying purpose. It is not required and unnecessarily done. It may be also because there is a delay. There is a possibility there are cases where the defense wants to delay the prosecution when they know it's a possibility that they want to delay for some other reason. In that case also, the magistrate or trial court judge can reject. Also, there is a possibility when it is defeating the interest of justice. If justice, because of the interest of defeat, is justice is defeated, then court may for record its own reason for refusing such kind of applications. We'll see few judgments today, and these are really very interesting judgment. First judgment I would like to take from the Allahabad High Court, which went to the Supreme Court later on. Here, the name itself, they were foreigners. There were three people who came to India to see Banaras and the nearby cities in Uttar Pradesh. The case is of Supreme Court of Tomaso Bruno versus State of UP. Here, what happened? These three tourists came to India. They were staying in a hotel. One early morning, two of these tourists went outside, and when they came back, the third one was dying. And the whatever the postmortem report came, it was like he died because of strangulation. Now the trial judge convicted these two persons because all the evidence which came on record, medical evidence about strangulation, and the other evidence which came on record, it was that nobody went in that hotel room during that period, and there was actually a board of do not disturb. Now the complete suspicion went on these two people who were there with him, and they have gone outside and they have come back and they informed that he is in a very serious condition. There was a police case, and session judge convicted them. The matter went to Allahabad High Court. Allahabad High Court also, in its concurrent finding, convicted the accused. This matter now came before the Supreme Court in appeal. When it came before the Supreme Court said there was one defense which was taken, that is of there was a CCTV footage which was not brought by the prosecution to before the trial judge also, before the High Court also. This point was not raised, but the Supreme Court itself invoked that accused could have made an application under section 233 CRPC to bring the CCTV footage. Even the police, though it has come in the evidence of and also the statement under section 161 CRPC when it was recorded, because it was a hotel, there was CCTV footage. Why it was not brought? On this point, and also because the accused did not invoke section 233, see, both had the prosecution also had a chance and the accused also had a chance. But accused did not invoke, but the prosecution case should stand on its own legs and benefit of doubt, because CCTV footage may be favorable to the prosecution. That was the only reason it may not have brought. That was the observation by the Supreme Court, and these accused were acquitted. See, section 233 helped them. Though it was not invoked by the accused, the court invoked it, and in a way it said that benefit of doubt should be given to the accused. So this is one of the very important judgment where somewhere the court is guiding us through its judgment that invoke section 233. So defense side is also equally important when you run a criminal trial. The second judgment I would like to take you through is a very sensational judgment from the Delhi, Noida. Rajesh Talwar, Nupur Talwar, everybody knows the Arushi murder case. Now here, when this matter was before the trial court and it was posted for the arguments, when this matter was posted for the arguments, the accused made application under section 233 CRPC. If you remember Arushi murder case, there were two theories. There may be the parents have killed the daughter, or the other three accused. There were two theories. There were also films came on these theories. And it was totally undecided who has killed. Later on, Allahabad High Court acquitted these two accused. Rajesh Talwar and his wife Nupur Talwar of the charges. But what happened before the trial court, when the matter was posted for argument, these accused made an application under section 233 CRPC. Now they wanted these three accused who were later on, they were, I would call, won't call them accused, they were suspected accused. They were later on not, charge sheet was filed and they were not made accused because these two people were made accused. There were two theories possible. Now what happened? There were some narco tests recorded by the CBI, and these all they wanted to be brought before the court. But the court said, trial court rejected, even the High Court rejected, and the Supreme Court rejected. Then when the matter is actually posted for the arguments, and there is so much delay. So because of the vexatious nature, that it is just to bring those, see these three suspected accused. Those they were not accused. What is there a narco analysis test cannot be brought, and there were the main reason given by Justice Bobde in this matter was about that there was a delay and their application was rejected. So you have to be very, I would say, you should know your rights, that accused has a right to bring forth. But if you delay, then court has a right, because the section itself says that if there is a delay, there is a possibility that court may not agree with your application, it may reject it. So Nupur Talwar and Rajesh Talwar case is a live example where it was rejected. Another case is a very landmark judgment, I would call, though it is from the Bombay High Court, of Justice Gavai. Justice Gavai is now elevated as a Supreme Court judge. Now, in this matter, it is one of the very well written judgment and well studied, in fact, very good study material. Angad Rohidas Kadam versus State of Maharashtra, 2016. Now, here what happened? The investigation officer was before the court, and when he was cross-examined by the defense side, there was one statement came from his mouth that I have recorded 1, 2, 3, 4 people, some statements. And when he was asked why, if you have recorded the statements, why they are not part of the charge sheet. Now, see, the IO was unable to answer that. He said somewhere that they were not favorable to the prosecution. Now, the accused defense said if something is not favorable to the accused, and even if the statement is recorded under section 161 CRPC, under section 162 CRPC, there is a valuable right given to the accused to bring forth the section 161 CRPC statement before the court, and also to look into the same and find out what is helpful to them. So the application was made before the trial court. The trial court rejected the application. The appellants made an application before the, I would say, petitioner under section 482 CRPC before the Bombay High Court. And when this matter came before the Bombay High Court, Justice Gavai has written a very beautiful judgment and discussed the lot of aspects of section 233 CRPC. Here it has the judgment, it is said that if we do not accept the material which has come on record during the investigation, and if it is not favorable to the defense, then we are going to make kangaroo court, the idiom used by the Justice Gavai, that we in the process of making a kangaroo courts. Now the idiom used kangaroo court, the meaning is that it is a tribunal, legal procedure are not followed. If we do not follow the legal procedure, just because see, prosecution cannot enter into role of a persecution. You are not here to convict, you are here to bring the truth before the court. The prosecution has to bring the truth before court. Same duty is also given to the defense as a defense lawyer. That's why we are called the officers of the court. Our duty is to bring forth the whatever the truth is before the court. Now Justice Gavai very beautifully said that under Article 21 of the Constitution, the trial has to be fair. And if it has to be fair, whatever is not even favorable to the prosecution, it also to be brought before the court. I will read a para which is very important. Just a minute, I'll share the Just a minute. This is para 28. You will have an idea what is actually observed by the court. Despite the legal provisions, despite the case law, there is still a school of thought which postulates that the police and the prosecution can withhold information both from the accused and the court. According to this thinking, in case the prosecution does not wish to rely on the statements of certain witness or on some piece of evidence, then it is not bound to disclose the same, even if the evidence is in favor of the accused. Such an interpretation would be both against the principles of natural justice and against the concept of fair play. Now here the Article 21 comes into play. Undoubtedly, principles of natural justice are an integral part of the fair trial. Article 21 of the Constitution of India and the Universal Declaration mentioned above both guarantee a fair trial to the accused. Even if the court does not contain any provision for providing all the evidence collected by the investigating agency, such a provision has to be read into the code. For principle of natural justice, that is odi alteram partem, would have to be read into the code. It is tried to state that the opportunity of hearing means effective and substantial hearing. Truncated evidence, half-hidden evidence given to the accused or placed before the court do not amount to effective hearing. Thus, under the principle of odi alteram partem, the accused would have the right to access the evidence which is in his favor, but which the prosecution is unwilling to produce in the court, and whose disclosure does not harm the public interest. See, the word is whose disclosure does not harm the public interest. Now, if we look into section 233 CRPC, the last word, it does not defeat the justice. In case the relevant evidence in favor of the accused is not supplied, we would be creating kangaroo court. This was the idiom used by Justice Gavai, and the weaving an illusion of justice. Such courts and such illusions are an anathema to the judicial sense of fair play. So this judgment is actually very important, and I would request all of you, it's a very good study material. Now, next two judgments are from the Himachal Pradesh, and both have, if you find the self-defense has been taken, and they are though very simple judgments, but it has to be looked into that. One is of the Jagriti Devi versus State of Himachal Pradesh. This of 2009. Now, what happened? This Jagriti Devi's husband has married another lady, and she has 5 children from the first marriage. Now, this husband has gone outside somewhere, and of course, they were not on good terms, these two ladies. Now, this khupri we call, now this khukri was in the hands of one lady, that is his second wife, co-wife. The word used is co-wife here. Now, what happened? Morning 6 o'clock, there was some scuffle between both of them. And in self-defense, Jagriti Devi inflicted injuries on that lady, another lady, and she succumbed to the injuries. When she succumbed to the injuries, there was a case of murder which was recorded. Now, trial court, high court, in concurrent finding, convicted her. But if we see in Jagriti Devi's matter, she has filed a written statement. Also, in written statement, she has taken a self-defense that I was not having the kukri in my hand. In fact, she was having the kukri, and 6 o'clock in the morning, this incident had taken place. If I ever wanted to do something, the whole night I could have done it. I didn't do it. There was sunshine. It's a Himachal, but it's a village area. There was sunshine all throughout around 6 o'clock. My children were also there. Why would I ever do such kind of crime in a daylight? That is at 6 a.m. in the morning. Also, this Khupri, there were some witnesses who came before the court. This Khupri was under the pillow of this lady who was deceased. So there were a lot of evidence. And and she has taken written statement that in self-defense, I have killed her, because there was injury on herself also. Whenever you have read any judgments, You must have read that the prosecution has to explain the injuries on the accused person as well. Now, in Jagrit Devi's matter, there was some injuries on her head, though it was simple injury. So, actually, the court, Supreme Court, taken into consideration, there was injury on herself also. In written statement, also she has filed. She has invoked Section 233 CRPC, where she is taking it in self-defense. She has done. Now, what happened? And she even if she has admitted that even if the incident has taken place, she was killed with my hands, but it was in all self-defense. And though the case was registered as a murder, this was a case where the Supreme Court converted from 302 to its culpable homicide 304 part 2, where the punishment was much lesser, and she was acquitted. I won't call acquitted. She was given the punishment up to whatever she has already undergone, and she was convicted under section 304 part 2. So it is a one good case that where the self-defense has actually helped her. So if you file a written statement through accused, if there is some evidence or there is some material available with you, then it is going to help you. Now next we go to another judgment, that is of Dharminder and Durganand versus State of Himachal Pradesh again. Now here the observation laid down is again self-help is the first rule of criminal law. Now here there were both the case and cross case, both the parties. It was again a very murder case, and there was also one person injured. Now what happened here? One of the accused died, though he has taken also self-defense, and this investigation was closed down. But when the matter came before the Supreme Court said there were one party was acquitted, and another party, that is the Dharminder and Durganand, they were convicted. Now, both parties here have filed the written statement. They have also taken that out of self-defense, they've exceeded their right. Another person was one was killed and one was injured. Now, Supreme Court said, see, though written statement was filed by them, whatever the High Court and Trial Court held, it was same was concurrently upheld by the Supreme Court. But if you study, it's a good material where you study this judgment. It is Justice Lahotti's judgment and Justice B. Kumar division bench judgment, where it is saying that if you file a written statement, it is going to help. See, one of the parties here got an acquittal. The reason behind that, there were injuries on both the people, and a person who was actually not present there, who has filed the complaint, he may not be able to explain the injuries. There is a medical evidence also. So in this judgment, though the matter did not succeed in the Supreme Court through the appellant side, it did help the one of the because there was a case and cross case from both the parties, one of the accused, one of the applicants, to get acquittal. So this is also one more good judgment. I would like all of you to read if you ever have to apply section 233 CRPC. So this was all about today's session. I would say section 233 is very exhaustive, and you will find judgments where you can utilize the same to put forth your self-defense right, or the whatever you want to say in defense. See, as in Justice Gavai's judgment, that is Angad Rohidas Kadam judgment, the prosecution recorded so many statements, and they purposely did not file the three witnesses evidence or statements before in the charge sheet, because it was favoring the accused. So if you ever find in judgment in the statement from the IO's mouth, or for any other your accused knowledge, that there was a statement recorded of few of his relatives or neighbors, and it is favorable to the accused, then you can call those witnesses through section 233 of CRPC. So that is the use of the section 233 CRPC. Now I'm open if there is any questions.